Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Be. Last time we talked about listening to your heart, and in line with that, we now talk about grieve as you need to. Grieving is a process most of us are very uncomfortable with. Well, it's normal. Oftentimes, we don't know what to say to someone when a person loses a great loss in their life, such as their business, a family member, or a relationship that died. That when we ourselves encounter it, some would rather go through the process quickly and just forget about it. However, grieving is a process that we all should engage in as long as we feel the need to. This is part of nurturing love for yourself, being honest with yourself and how you feel and how you are at a certain phase in your life is nurturing love for yourself. So, psychologists often recommend that people go through the process of grieving as much as they can and as long as they need to. Father Martin Padovani, SVD, actually encourages us to grieve for any loss that we experience in our life, the loss of a job, the loss of a dream, any loss. And of course, the grieving process for this would depend on the value we have attached to what was lost. Therefore, our grieving process will really take different time frames because each one of us has to undergo this process as unique as we are with each other. Thus, it is wrong to say that people should grieve for a certain period of time. We cannot say that this person has been grieving already for a year and it's supposed to be enough already. No, or 3 months is enough. No, that's not right. Because each one has a different time frame with each other. And also, it is unwise to shove away our feelings of grief or to not even acknowledge the fact that we are grieving because it's pushing that emotion deep down into our hearts. And normally, whenever we do push something down or we do not acknowledge something that we feel, there will come a point in our life that this emotion will suddenly come to the surface with such strength that it will suddenly overwhelm us and would even lead us to an emotional breakdown or will affect us in our dealings with people and in how we perceive the circumstances of our lives. This is why psychologists really encourage that we take the time to grieve. Recently, I experienced another loss actually for the past months. Since this pandemic began in March 2020, I've come to realize I've been undergoing a series of losses, most painful losses in my life that has led me to experience so much difficulties in my emotional stability and mental stability as well. From the loss of a job to what I consider as my vocation, to the loss of a father this early February, and the loss of friends in between that, and recently the loss of another friendship, to whom I have attached the loss of a dream. But you see, these things, they happen because they are a part of life. And unless you do take the time to sit down and reflect on what has been happening in your life, you might end up being very hard on yourself. And so I have been taking the time to give myself the time I need to love myself by grieving as I need to, acknowledging each loss. And I actually read that the loss of a friendship is really more painful than the loss of a lover. So I hope that you do take the time to sit down and reflect what have been your losses so far that you need to grieve. And ask yourself also, why won't you let yourself to? Maybe there's something else there that needs to be addressed. So I hope you have a blessed week, and through this process, enable you to just be.